Okay, we are at 9285 East Bobcat Haven Lane up Big Cottonwood Canyon. So this little cabin is 1,500 square feet on 3 levels. It has a 600 square foot footprint in the basement and the main floor, and then 300 square feet in the attic. And I'll show you that in a minute. This lot is just sloping straight down from the road. This is Bobcat Haven Lane, and on the upper side there's a couple of really nice cabins right across the street. That gray one right there is year-round use, and as I've mentioned before, this is a seasonal water community. Their water line is not buried below the frost line, and so they have to turn it off in the winter. The year-round residents use storage tanks in each of their houses to get them through the winter. This house is a brick construction, and it has a metal roof that's not in too bad a shape. But I'll show you the rest in just a minute here. I got to get down these treacherous stairs, a little bit icy here. I don't want to slip and fall on my butt. Anyway, there's a little deck area right here that goes up to the cabin, and a couple of trees. That tree's not touching right now, but it does touch when the wind blows, as you can see. And 2 trees over here that are also in this deck. And then there's a bit of a retaining wall that's kind of tipping over. We do have electrical service here. And the outhouse over here, it's on its own little vault. And this community is not hooked to the public sewer. And this outhouse this vault is above the level of the main floor. So a new vault would have to be created. But yeah, here's the outhouse. And if you want to, there hasn't been running water put into the home. It does have a water share, but it's never been put in. I'll show you that in just a minute. I got to try to get through this and keep this short enough to compress into a YouTube link. Let me just run through this quick. So looks like it's intended to be a bathroom, but there's no plumbing in here. And then you can see from the fireplace the slope of the floor. That fireplace was installed level and the floor was already sloping. This thing was built in '69, so it's 50 years old. There's a great big deck right here, but they're asking us not to go out there because you'll see from underneath it's an unstable situation. But right over there is the highway, so you do have a nice cover of trees, but the main road up the canyon is right through the trees over there. This kitchen this is the dining area, and then the kitchen, it does not have any plumbing again. Looks like there was a spot over there for a little stove. I'll just stick my head up into the attic so you can see that. So this is 300 of the 1,500 square feet is in this attic. And that ceiling, I guess I should get up there. So I'm 6 feet tall, and I can just barely stand up straight. I can barely stand up straight in here. It's all paneling, wood floor. 300 square feet. Okay, now I want to show you the basement. Give me just a second here. Okay. The whole floor on the main floor here is quite unlevel. And then down here we have 2 more rooms. This has it's been finished with sheetrock or wafer board at one time because it's been opened back up again. There's an unfinished fireplace, but here's the big problem right here, is look at how this wall bows out, and the whole house has a slant to the downhill side. They've made efforts to, and I'm here with the structural engineer. There's, trying to stabilize that wall. The thing that's a little puzzling about it is that the house is not in direct contact with the uphill slope. There's a retaining wall here between the house, so the house is freestanding. It's not touching the uphill slope, and yet there's those bulging areas that look like there's a ton of pressure coming in from the outside. But I don't see where the pressure's coming from. That's that deck up above. So it's a freestanding house. That's why some people say, maybe it's better to take this down and start over. And there's these cracks, go all the way up. It's kind of hard to see, but go all the way up right there. And then on the downhill slope here, on both corners, there's an attempt has been made. I mean, this big concrete reinforcement is on each corner on the downhill side. And then this is the underneath of the deck. It's on cement piers, but they're ski wampus. I don't know why. Anyway, the underneath side of this deck, there's a big beam, and I don't know, it just feels unstable up there. It needs some reinforcing. Anyway, this is the east side of it. The other beam on this end, I know the other concrete reinforced corner, and then back up that side to the highway. And that little area right there is where that retaining wall stands off away from the house by 18 inches or something on this side. So the house is completely freestanding. And I did want to show you while I was down there, I should have showed you the steepness of the lot going down to the creek. So this is the downhill side, and it just goes steep down to the creek, and then the highway's over there. So I'll do a separate video with the structural engineer so you can get his assessment of the situation. But that is 1,500 square feet on 3 levels, built in 1969. Thanks. Bye.